David Muir, you were on the floor for much of the afternoon when they went through that roll call state by state and let the Bernie Sanders voters have their say, put those delegates on the board. That made a huge difference too.
Oh, absolutely, George. It acknowledged the hard work and really the history made by Bernie Sanders and his supporters too. And we were down on the floor when the roll call began, as you mentioned. And, you know, they went state by state through those votes. They would announce the votes for Bernie Sanders, and you'd hear the cheer of the crowd of those Sanders supporters, and then the votes for Hillary Clinton. State by state, and in the end, no one knew that Bernie Sanders was going to do that. They moved Vermont to the end of the list, and then he did appear. And to watch the arc of these last 24 hours, George, Michelle Obama coming in here, changing the temperature immediately last night. And then to have Bernie Sanders supporters acknowledged today with that roll call vote, and then Sanders himself. And now tonight, this crowd awaiting, it is silent in here as they watch this video for Bill Clinton and this very personal speech.
And that big speech is coming up. Terry Moran, you're on the floor. David Muir, give us a feel.
I got to tell you, George, this room is silent watching this video, and what a shift for Hillary Clinton for years, you know, supporting her husband and then supporting Barack Obama when she lost that hard-fought nomination battle with Barack Obama. But seeing her this week with Tim Kaine, that joint interview, him defending her, and now President Clinton, who will come out here and make the case for his wife. Just imagine what it's like for her in Chappaqua, New York tonight, watching people defend her, have her back, and make the case for Hillary Clinton.
David Muir, one of the political points President Clinton was trying to make there, you saw the signs as well, change maker. The idea that Hillary Clinton is not a creature of the status quo. She can actually bring change. He said it's what she's been doing her whole life.
Absolutely right, George. And one thing that you commonly hear within the Clinton campaign is this frustration that it's not part of the national conversation, the amount of work that Hillary Clinton has done over the years, that she's fought for families and children ever since the 70s, where President Clinton began his story tonight of the girl he met. He also talked about Donald Trump not using his name, but when talking about children with disabilities, for example, he said, you know, she never made fun of anyone with disabilities. The Clinton campaign has seized on that piece of video involving that reporter they believe that Trump was making fun of, obviously. He said she never made fun of people with disabilities, she instead helped them. And as you pointed out, George, they were handing out those placards that say change maker, and you knew that line was coming. That he would make the case that you can vote for the made-up Hillary, the storyline of Hillary from the opponents, or you can vote for the real one, and the real one that he made the case for is the one he says is the true change maker, George.
And John, Carl, that issue, can she be the candidate of change, her biggest political problem?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the...
David, this crowd seems riveted by Alicia Keys. Do they know Hillary Clinton's coming?
I don't think people here in the crowd actually know that Hillary Clinton is about to make an appearance here tonight. I know that we've been informed that. It was sort of like earlier in the day when they were tallying the vote, George, during that roll call vote, allowing the Bernie Sanders supporters to have their moment too. But it was interesting, while we were on the air with World News Tonight, we knew that Hillary Clinton had reached the math she needed to clinch the nomination, yet there was no scorecard on the grand video screen here in the room. In the room, they did not know about that history made until the very end of that roll call when Bernie Sanders surprised the crowd when they moved Vermont to the end of the list, and he was able to say, we are nominating Hillary Clinton tonight and making history in doing so. And so as Alicia Keys performs here on the stage, dedicating the music obviously to the mothers of those who've lost loved ones, she's getting the crowd warmed up for a guest that likely will surprise a lot of people, as you alluded to, George.